Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope y'all are doing well. So, Maurotone is obviously coming out next week, and alongside that update, Treyarch is releasing a pretty major patch to the meta of zombies. Fundamentally, almost everything that's currently implemented in Cold War is going to be changed or tweaked somehow. This is going to significantly affect high rounds, Easter egg runs, and just your general gameplay. Definitely make sure to watch to the end. I'm going to try to clearly and concisely convey all of the changes that you guys need to understand and know about for when Maurotone comes out and then even after. If you all do end up enjoying the video today, all I ask in return is a thumbs up. It takes only 2 seconds and it helps out a ton. If you are new to the channel, also remember to subscribe. You're on the road to 500,000. We've got a very bright future ahead as Zombies fans, and I'm not planning on slowing down the uploads at all. So as long as you guys keep supporting, we're going to be here. Just before we unpack everything in this update, I do want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video. Question: are you like this guy, a nerd with no glasses? Are you constantly searching the internet for ways to become cooler, but you can't just quite figure it out? Well, listen, I've got you covered, and Glassy Eyewear's got you covered. If you check out Glassy, they have unbelievably stylish frames starting only at $40. These offer eye strain reduction if you play games a lot. They're great at reducing headaches. Even if you wear prescription glasses, you can choose your frames, send them in, and they'll take care of the rest. They have an extremely wide variety of frames to choose from, and they also have free shipping and returns on all orders, plus a lifetime guarantee. You can check them out using the link in the description and get 10% off your order using my code. So go check out Glassy Eyewear down below, see what they have to offer, and let them help you become not a nerd. So, to start things here, Treyarch put out this blog post that is giving us additional information and sort of extrapolating on the things that we saw in the trailer and even their hints beforehand. So, as I'm sure you all saw in the Maurotone teaser, that there is these, like, 4 Wonder Weapon pistols, and they all have a slightly different effect. These are called the Cerberus Wonder Weapons, and Treyarch did mention that they are going to have 4 different unique ways to upgrade them, which really is no surprise. But they do say that there's a new craftable LT-53 Casimir. Now, if you're clever enough to interpret this on name alone, then you've probably been playing zombies for a pretty long time, but this Casimir weapon will actually behave like a Gersh device from Ascension. This pays homage to the Casimir mechanism that was featured in that map, of course, and that's where the Gersh device debuted, and it's going to behave pretty much the same way from how it's described here. It says it can send your enemies into the dark ether or transport you to a different area entirely. For those of you who are relatively new, maybe never played Ascension or used the Gersh device, it has a couple of different functions. Obviously, it can just be used as a tactical grenade to suck up a horde of zombies, killing them, or you can jump through it, transporting you to a random location on the map. It also grabs a part in the Ascension Easter egg. It's got a lot of interesting functionalities and features, so it's pretty dope to see them actually adding this as a craftable item. I assume that this is going to be added retroactively to every map as well, you know, D Machine, Firebase C, and possibly even Outbreak. Of course, they also mentioned that Mule Kick will be debuting next week. We've talked about pretty extensively of what the 5 upgrade tiers might look like, but we do know, of course, that it will at least allow us to hold a 3rd weapon as well. But that's not all. A lot of changes are being made to the already existing parts of Cold War. So I'll read this little introduction. They say, with the launch of Season 4 Reloaded on July 15th, we'll be making several fundamental changes to enemy health caps, enemy armor durability, sniper rifle critical and max damage, pack-a-punched melee weapon damage, and damage scaling for equipment, support, and field upgrades to turn you to even more of a badass undead killing machine. As I'm sure you guys are aware, recently Treyarch upped the health cap of zombies, and at high rounds recently, they've been pretty beefy. I don't know how many of you have actually tried to play high rounds on a round-based map or even an Outbreak, but it got pretty insane. It did nullify some previously viable high round strategies like the penthouse on D Machine, but I think this update came with like a little bit of good and bad, but this newest update is actually going to be like kind of reverting a lot of that in a way. So they're going to be reducing the enemy health caps of regular zombies down to 100% addition at high rounds, which is down from the 300% that it is on currently. Keep in mind, this isn't going to really affect low rounds or even mid rounds all that much. It's only going to start taking place once the zombie's health cap starts to max out around like 55 and beyond. Special enemies have had their health caps reduced down to 50% at high rounds, which is down from 100, so I assume this means like armored zombies. Elites have been reduced down to 25% at high rounds, which is down from 100%, so this is going to be a pretty big change. A lot of the elites like megatons and, you know, manglers and stuff like that, those are going to be significantly nerfed at high rounds. They did get to a point in Outbreak where they were almost unkillable once you got past like round 10. Some of the objectives became almost impossible depending on the scenario, so I think this is a pretty balanced change here. Looking forward to seeing how this actually affects the game, and this will of course take place in round-based maps too. They've also reduced the health of the armor for medium and heavy zombies by 30%. Armored zombies were getting pretty ridiculous, but I don't think that was necessarily the problem, just like the base health of it. I think it's the multipliers of the weapons, which is a completely different issue, but stuff like, you know, magnums and like single shot pistols just do nothing against armored enemies. It's because weapons like that don't have their own multiplier against armor, so I think this is a good like band-aid fix, but I don't really think this fixes the underlying issue, but that's besides the point. They've also buffed sniper rifle critical damage multipliers, stock ammo, and just max damage. It's kind of weird because in the past update, snipers were actually nerfed to some degree, and you wouldn't think of the sniper rifle class in Cold War being like particularly overpowered or anything. Like, they weren't really an issue, but for what it's worth, every single sniper rifle in the game is just getting like a just base damage multiplier increase, so they're just going to be straight up better. Also, Treyarch is buffing the melee damage, pack-a-punch, and triple pack-a-punch damage multipliers. The wording's kind of weird here. I'm not sure if they're just doing this for melee weapons, or they mean triple pack-a-punch in general is also going to be increased, you know, for all weapons, not just melee. Wording is somewhat strange, but I just, at the very least, you can assume this means melee damage just on its own is going to be straight up better when pack-a-punched. Also, in another patch worth mentioning, Treyarch disabled the super sprinters in the Outbreak Easter egg. So when you're down in the silo doing the Legion quest, if you did that on a high round, the super sprinters were pretty intense. It was still doable, but it was a pretty ridiculous challenge. But I think they have completely disabled the use of super sprinters in that enclosed area. Now, here's a really cool update that they're going to be putting out, and this is one of the most interesting ones I've seen in a while that I feel like maybe should have been here from the beginning, but nonetheless, it's going to be added in this next update. They do mention that the weapon damage buffs from Season 3 Reloaded are still going to remain intact for this update, so like you won't have to worry about any of that changing with all of those like damage multipliers being increased. But here's the really cool thing. They mentioned we're also making weapons even more powerful with the new feature, Dynamic Wall Buys. With this feature, in all round-based zombies maps starting with Season 4 Reloaded, wall buy weapons will have a chance to increase in rarity at the end of every 5th round, all the way up to legendary. As the rounds go up, now you'll have even more weapon options to choose from. So this means wall buys, while they were like static in terms of the rarity that you would get whenever you load into a map, every 5 rounds it looks like these have the chance, not always guaranteed, but to increase in rarity, meaning every wall weapon that exists, you will now have the option to get this legendary if you're going for high rounds, and you can pretty much grab anything you want off the wall. I don't know how this is going to affect Outbreak, at least in these patch notes, nothing were mentioned here. Of course, every 5 rounds would scale a little bit differently in that mode, but it is cool to see that they've actually done that in this, you know, in the round-based map so far. I feel like this should have been an update from the launch of the game, but maybe they just didn't think about it then. It looks like next week there will be like a new set of patch notes, and I assume that it's going to include a lot of the things that we mentioned today with all of like the zombies meta updates. If there's anything like super noteworthy that's like enough to make a video on as far as what's in the patch notes that isn't in this video, then I'll be sure to update you guys. I'm sure we're going to get told exactly how Mule Kick functions, so stay tuned for that. I also mentioned that the Marauder Totem main Easter egg is going to be going live at 10 a.m. Pacific time on July 15th. All of these previously stated updates being implemented with Marauder Totem and the main Easter egg going live, then it should be a pretty exciting week for zombies, and I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands onto it. It sounds like zombies is going to play really well with this next patch, and I have some pretty high hopes for Marauder Totem, and I'm hoping it lives up to these expectations that they've inevitably set with the community with, you know, obviously how long it's taken to come out. Hopefully it's a great map and you guys are looking forward to playing it just as much as I am. If you guys are wanting to watch the main Easter egg hunt, I'm going to be live streaming it over on Twitch. If you don't already follow me, I highly advise you to do that. Link is in the description below. We're going to be trying to solve it first in the world, so if you want to be there for that event, then that would be absolutely incredible. But that's going to be pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to give the video a like rating, subscribe if you're brand new, and of course everything you can find will be down below in the description. If there's any Easter egg quests or anything of that nature you haven't got done, or you just want a good weapons guide, anything you still need to do in preparation for Marauder Totem can be found down below. So go get those main quests done and get your weapons ready, because this map is coming out next week and it's going to be a banger. So anyways, thank you all for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next stream or the next video. Take it easy. I gotta go, and peace out.